Here are the moments I think you should know about from episode 80 and 81 of Beyond the Gates. Well, we found out that Ted gave Kenneth a new face because, as I predicted, Martin beat up that guy, Kenneth, and his brother so badly, he ended up killing one of them. And then he called in Vernon, and Vernon tried to make it all go away. So we don't see what the decision is because Martin freaks out inside of the office whenever Marcel Malone talks and Ted ushers him out. But in episode 81, which I just watched, Bill is like, do you really think the chief of police and Vernon are going to be down with killing this Kenneth guy? But they do want him to meet at Joey's casino in the back room to get the money that he's demanding from Martin. Now, Bill wants to see this guy to know what he looks like, but he gets a call from Hayley, who's at the hospital because she's been having cramps. And the guy, and Martin, Kenneth, he, tells him, you meet me here at a certain time. And Martin says, no, you got to meet me at the casino if you want this money. And of course, he's like, I'm not going to do that. And Martin says, well, you're not going to get the money. So he's going to meet him there. But, what I think is going to happen is they're going to kill the guy. Yeah. So I mentioned Hayley. Hayley went and confronted Danny because she saw Bill's car in her driveway. And then she started having cramps. So Danny takes her to the hospital. And whenever she's ushered off into a hospital room, Danny's talking to Ashley. And I really loved Ashley in this scene, being the voice of reason to tell Danny, you really think she's faking? Like, why would she fake these cramps? Just making it seem like Danny is just jealous and out of her mind and making things up. But, of course, Bill shows up and she talks about seeing the ultrasound and how the baby's doing fine. And I thought it was very odd whenever the doctor came in that she didn't suggest that, you see the ultrasound as well. And Hayley was not in a gown or anything. She had not changed clothes. If you know what an ultrasound is, you know that you have to show your belly and get the little sonogram monitor. I'm not an OBGYN or in the nursing field or whatever, but you know what I'm talking about. So I just thought it was all odd. And of course it is odd because as Hayley and Bill have left, after thanking Danny, killing her with kindness, and Danny's like, yeah, okay, she's pregnant. That's what the doctor said. Ashley talks to the other nurse, who kind of reminded me of Tanya from Real Housewives of Atlanta. Anyway, if you know, you know. And she says, where's Hayley's sonogram or ultrasound? And that nurse says, she didn't have one. She declined it. So that doctor is in cahoots with Hayley, and Hayley is clearly lying about this pregnancy, and Danny is right about this. I actually saw a post on Facebook just a second ago that I screenshot, and yeah, it circled Hayley's face kind of smirking at the doctor, and yeah, Danny's right, and I think it's crazy that Hayley is faking this pregnancy. Kat was about to give Tomas some of that kitty cat, but he said no. And I get it. It is a big responsibility and a burden almost to feel like you're taking something special away from someone, taking someone's virginity. And he just couldn't do it. Even though Kat was insisting, she offered him a drink and he's like, we don't need to do this under the influence. And I really think along with that, he just doesn't like how she treats Eva. Now, Eva's not innocent. Eva knows how to play around certain people. She and Kat were with Ted in the country club before he ran off to that meeting with all the cronies who know what Martin did. And Ted was trying to get them to see that they're very similar, but Kat was being nasty to her and Eva was being nasty right back at her. So whenever Ted left, Eva had dinner at the country club, and then she came over to Tomas and Kat's table and was just like the picture of perfection. And yeah, it really turned Tomas off that Kat was rude to her, even though Eva knew she was going to be. And also, whenever Kat and Eva were talking with Ted, Eva was like, well, what evidence would I have against my mom? And Kat knows the predicament she's in, because if she says, well, I broke into your hotel room and found a helmet and gloves, and then I planted it at your mom's house. What? You're just making up the story and you just bought helmet and gloves and plant. So yeah, like I really like that play between them. And whenever they both said, see what together, playing into the fact that maybe they are more than just half sisters, but TBD. I think Jacob and Smitty are in for a wake-up call about the people they love. Elon, of course, and then Martin being Smitty's husband. Those two are in such a bad predicament, Jacob and Smitty, because they don't want to believe their loved ones are capable of being bad people. But it's a soap opera, and we're seeing it play out before us. Finally, we got some scenes with Ted and Nicole, and at the urging of Eva, he went over there to tell Nicole about what happened with Martin. Now, she assumed that it was going to be about Danny and Andre because she brought Danny over. No, she brought Andre over and said, I need you to do something for me. Stop sleeping with my sister. And she was just so mad at him for taking advantage of Danny in this state. And Andre tried to push back, but he really didn't get through to her. And whenever he went off to the hospital, of course, he comes out to the elevator and it's Ashley and Danny there, two women that he cares about. But anyway, Ted said to Nicole, we are all worried about disappointing you. And you need to get off your pedestal and realize that we are no better than the people outside of these gates and we're all flawed, et cetera, et cetera. But of course, Nicole wasn't having that because it just feels like he's trying to make her feel bad for expecting more from her family. I hope you're enjoying all the smaller clips I'm posting of my IG Live with Mike Manning. I've got a few more to post with him, and in the coming weeks, I'm going to be doing that with all the other Instagram Lives I've done. And stay tuned, because I am working on setting up more Instagram Lives with some of your faves from beyond the gates.